Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled The Big, the Bad, and ultimately the Benign News about the Har HaBayit. Front page Jerusalem Post, front right article. In the Friday Jerusalem Post, Parasha Vayishlach. Two writers, first one a Jewish one, and if you look at the end of the article, an Arab writer. It's important to know that. Writing about what's going on at the Temple Mount today, that the Jews are davening there, and he quotes Rav Weber, Eliyahu Rebbe Shlita, that we daven there every day, and tefillah out loud, and the author of the article writes that he was up there, he watches how we daven out loud, and it's Kedusha, and it's true Rav Weber tries to do it in a bit of a discreet kind of way, but ultimately it's going on, and the police are doing nothing about it, and it's a terrible, terrible article that is on the front page of the Jerusalem Post. Because this is stuff that's supposed to be happening quietly. And we, the Temple Mount activists and loyalists, should be enjoying what's going on and publicize it among each other, give each other strength. That way, we're really making a difference. A few years ago, it was nothing, then a little bit more, then davening out loud, and slowly. But to go ahead and publicize it, it's horrible. Horrible, because then the Waqf is getting involved. So we have to look into this. We need to see what's going on. So the name of the shir is The Bad, the Big, the Bad, and the Benign. Big, this is big news. Baruch Hashem. We're going ahead and having such forward progress on the Temple Mount. That's the big news. Bad news is that it's publicized front page Jerusalem Post. And I do not appreciate the author, not the Jewish one and not the Arabic one, because anyone with half a brain knows you're putting this out there, it's going to get attention and it's going to cause a setback most probably. But ultimately benign. What do we mean by benign? Is it possible that this is going to lead to a setback? Yes. Is it possible for the next few days, weeks, months, and maybe even longer? It's going to go back to the way it was years ago, chas v'shalom, where we can't move, he can't speak in any way. They're going to have videos on us and saying, oh, he's davening. You see that? He just said Kedusha, he just said Shemona Esrei. Look the way he's standing. It's quite possible. They're going to have the microscopes be on top of us again. And that's a setback. Why do I say that the shir is big, bad, but ultimately benign? It's going to be a setback. I think it will be. Temporarily, but it will be. But ultimately, it's benign. Because when the Jews do what is right and what is proper, we ultimately head in the right direction. And we get there. But it's not always forward moving. There's going to be setbacks along the way. This is a little bit sad because this is our own, the Jerusalem Post, with their wonderful authors doing something which is going to cause a setback. So we're doing this, shooting ourselves in the foot. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. There's progress that's made, and even when there's setbacks, we still keep pushing forward. Second Temple, what happened? A pathetic 40,000 Jews come. Even though Ezra the Gadol Hador came eventually, Mikdash is there, and it was a pathetic amount. We stopped building the Mikdash, and guess what happened? Everyone told them, the Jews, that they're starting a rebellion. No Mikdash, big setback. Stopped building for years. And what happened? Oh, then we had a Mikdash. It lasted 420 years. It wasn't as glorious as the first one in many ways. Didn't have the miracles, but we had the Mikdash. Then Herod came along and did what he did. So, but that's it. The Geula process with Moshe. How did it start? Moshe comes, hears from God, I don't want to be the leader. God says, you're going to be the leader. I don't want it. You're going to be the leader. Fine, he's the leader. He comes, he tells the Paro, okay, let's go. Things got worse. Moshe says, God, what's going on? Anything's going to get worse? I don't want to do this. But now that Moshe didn't have 2020 vision. We have 2020 vision. Moshe thought that the Geula process is only forward moving, and he didn't understand it's going backwards. Now we know that the Geula redemption process goes forward, leaps and bounds, sometimes inches forward, sometimes centimeters forward, and sometimes we go backwards. So over here, in my opinion, this article is going to lead us backwards temporarily. I hope I'm wrong, but temporarily it might happen. The name of the shir is big news that we're all going up and it's getting better and better and better. We're davening. That's big news. Bad that it's publicized to the world and to the Waqf and to the Israeli police, because now they're going to have to make sure they keep the status quo. We're not allowed to doubt and put on tefillin and talis and all that. But it's benign because we're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're not going to have any yayush, any despair from setbacks. We know that's part of our Masorah. And ultimately, we're going to daven. We're going to have tefillin. We're going to have talis. We're going to have korbanos. We're going to have the migdash. B'mheira v'yameinu.